Fab.
And the Fab.
I'm Camino.
I'm Marie.
And I'm Al. Hey, y'all. Hold on 1 second.
Oh, sorry. I wasn't prepared. I wasn't paying attention to the countdown. How y'all guys doing?
Great.
Fabulous.
Y'all are whack.
What?
Great. Fabulous.
So what did you guys do for the weekend?
I didn't do anything. I really wish you would have asked that question because it's kind of depressing. But I was home all weekend. Had family day yesterday, played Monopoly, 2 different versions. So that took like 6 hours. The credit card version and the old school one.
Who won?
I won the credit card and True won the old school.
Did she buy up everything?
Yeah. Well, I wound up going bankrupt and had to give her all my properties and money. So that's how she wound up having everything.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. What'd you do?
Nothing.
Lies!
I didn't do anything. It was yesterday, Saturday?
Yeah.
Nothing. Oh, I went to a birthday party. That's it.
Was it a fun birthday party?
That was cool. For a teenager.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's right.
How old?
She was turning 15. Yeah.
Were there a lot of kids there?
Mhm.
You weren't being a cougar, were you?
No, ma'am.
Okay.
What'd you do?
Friday I went to a party. Saturday I stayed home and the kids drove me crazy.
Weren't you doing your hoarding thing?
Yeah, and that too. My partner and I, he's a hoarder.
No, he's not.
Yes, he is. I had to basically start with my niece, her room, to empty out her closet because every closet in the house was full with junk. So we took one room at a time, and I just basically told him, I said, hey, let's move on to the next room. He's like, I don't want to. I'm like, oh my God, you're having an anxiety attack. Like, he really, like those people on the show, like, he was like this, rubbing his head. I'm like, is it that bad? And then he was like, just leave me alone. Don't talk to me. I'm getting a headache. I said, oh my God, you're just like the people on the show. And then Kiara's like, Uncle Jeff is having an anxiety attack and you're being irritated. So I was just, okay, whatever. So I didn't say nothing, but I just complimented him. I said, you're doing a good job. Let's keep moving forward. Like, seriously, and Kiara's like, Uncle, I'm so proud of you.
Y'all had to do all of that.
We did all of that. To the point where everything was actually in the living room. So whatever's left over, we're just going to take it and go give it to Goodwill.
That's good.
So, yeah, maybe somebody else will benefit from it. Now, we did invite one of the neighbors. She got like a whole bunch of stuff, like a lot.
That's a shame.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Jeff, you ought to be ashamed.
But it's something that he had planned on doing, but never really finished doing it. So.
My mom was like that.
Really?
Yeah. When I went home to visit her, I told her I wouldn't be able to stay at her house anymore ever. She just has too much stuff.
Yeah, his aunt is a hoarder too. But anyway, that was my weekend, and we're here vlogging.
Alright. So, our first topic will be about relationships that involve children that may only, let's say, be biologically related to one of the adults in the relationship. So what happens when you've been in a long-term relationship with somebody who has kids, or in the case of someone like Marie, who's been in a long-term relationship and the kids are hers, and then you break up and the person's like, oh, I still want to see the kids, I love the kids. The kids.
Or even with me.
Right. You were the first scenario.
Oh, okay.
Being with someone who has kids.
Okay.
She's the second scenario.
Okay.
So, since
And
you
you're
want
the
to...
third.
No, I'm just like you.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Since you want to be so outspoken, you go first.
What? How do I feel about it? Honestly, I think that, okay, let's just say that it depends on the relationship, the previous relationship, on how it all happened, how they broke up or whatever. If Jeff and I had a bad breakup and I was still attached to the kids and the grandkids, I would try to want to see the kids. I would do all I can to try and see them, but I would only go so far, because then I would end up pulling back because it feels like I'm just being rejected all the time.
Don't you
So then
think...
I would try to reach out to the mothers, and if they are okay with me seeing the kids, yeah, I'll pick them up, take them out, McDonald's or whatever, and then drop them back off at home. But I'm really, really connected to the kids.
You don't think that that would create some type of conflict between you and him, being that you guys were together for so long and now you're broken up and he has to see you come pick the kids up?
We have to be adults about it, because it's not about the adults, it's about the kids. I mean, it's just like being in a marriage. You know, if they've been around, like I've been with mine since his kids were like really young, but now they're grown. But if we had to have broken up and I was really close with the kids, I would want to see them. I mean, it all depends on how we broke up. If it was bad or whatever, I would try, and if not, then...
So you would only press the issue so far?
Yeah. I would only go as much as I can.
Would you ever go to the kids? Like if they had their own phones or whatever, would you ever call them?
No. I would never call them.
How do you control your electronics, please? Because that sounds like a monster. What is it, a clap on? Jeez. I'm sorry for that mild interruption.
No, because that came out of nowhere.
Yeah, I know. And then she had to turn around and look like she didn't know what was going on.
But that's how I feel now. If we had a bad breakup, I don't know if I would try. I mean, I would honestly think about the kids and miss them, but I don't know if I would really, really try my hardest. It all depends on the breakup, to me.
Okay. Next.
Marie?
That's the question.
How do you handle... Okay, first things first. Are you still with your children's fathers? Okay. So how would you handle being in a situation if you were dating somebody new and had been for a long time, or whatever the case may be? You know, you guys were serious. They have their own relationship with your children, and then you guys break up, and they still want to deal with the kids.
How long was the relationship?
However long it needs to be for them to be close enough to request to be around your children.
No.
I mean, is time an issue? Like, would that determine whether or not you would allow them to see them, or if you even think about it? Like,
wait, what?
The time that you were together.
The length of time you were together, or the breakup, or...
No.
So
No.
none of that matters.
Mm-mm.
You just would want to completely cut the ties.
Mm-hmm.
Say it.
I would completely want to cut the ties.
Why?
Even with the fathers?
No, that's blood. That's legal.
That's true.
We're just saying with the next.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Mm-hmm.
If they don't work with us, let's be done. I no longer want to see you, or have my children see you.
And so if your kids asked about that person, what would you say?
They died.
Oh my God.
Note to self. You better not ever tell your kids I died. Ever, unless I did.
Well, you know, for me, if I was in Marie's shoes, I would, my own opinion, what?
You don't know. You don't know.
Well, if Jeff and I broke up and he took Koa.
Exactly.
No, not even I can't even compare.
Right, you can't, but let's just say, since that's the closest thing you have to relate to. If he called and was like, let me take the dog to the dog park or whatever, it's Koa's birthday, I want to do something for his birthday.
Mm-hmm. It depends on the breakup. It really would, because I'm not saying that he would, but you do have crazy people out there that might try to hurt him, knowing that I'm close as I am, break his leg or let him run off and say, oh, he escaped and I'm without my dog. I would try to kill him. I'm sorry, I would.
And I understand all that. I don't know. I was one of those kind of kids. My mom was a single parent, and, you know, I got to build relationships with people who were her friends. I don't know who she dated or didn't date, but I know people would come around asking about me, looking to do stuff, you know, with me, invite me places, and I would feel like, from the child's perspective, that it was kind of unfair. But at the same token, you know, you being the parent, I would respect your decision. Just like if I was with somebody who had kids, I would have to respect their decision as well. Like you said, you wouldn't, or you would only press the issue so far. I wouldn't press the issue at all, because I look at it like they're your kids, you know, regardless of how close I was to them, if I was like a mother to them or whatever the case may be, at the end of the day, what rights do I have? All I have is my opinion and my argument, and why create
more trauma?
Yeah, another issue.
So regardless if you was close to the child,
it would hurt me. Yeah, like I would be sick about it, but I would just have to get over it. I would have to. I'd cry, I'd beg throughout that whole conversation, and then it'd have to be over if the answer was no. And then even if they called me later and was like, you know, I felt like I was wrong, I wouldn't want to do, because the yo-yo, the back and forth thing is what's the most messed up.
Right, and then it'll feel like when things don't go right with them, then they pull away the child.
Right.
That makes sense.
And that's on either end, like, even with people who aren't biologically related to the children. Like, they don't have any obligations to those kids, so you never know. They're here today, gone tomorrow. You can't depend on them. Mm-hmm. What happens if they get their own kids, and what are yours? Chopped liver? I mean...
So, if you was in her shoes, and you had a child, or children...
I'd let my kids have their own relationships. I'm just open-minded that way, yeah. I don't know about...
Regardless of what type of breakup?
Yeah, regardless of the breakup. But I would also make my decision based on the person's character, like I said. Like they, right, or dependable, like they have to be responsible, mature, a lot of things, that, you know, I wouldn't mind, the type of person I wouldn't mind my kids being around without me being there to supervise what type of interaction they have. So that would matter.
All right, good topic. You guys got anything else to add to that? All right, y'all. All right, y'all. We'll be back. Deuces.